And welcome back to Real Talk Sports with Rico. Today, I will be your host. Today, we're talking about the NBA top headlines and stories that are coming out of preseason basketball right now. We'll also be talking about the preview for the 49ers and the Seahawks, which is coming up here on Thursday Night Football. So let's start with some of the major headlines thus far in the preseason. And I want to start with the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Dallas Mavericks. And the big story coming out of this one is that Ja Morant was injured after going up for a dunk. And so that is not a good sign for the Memphis Grizzlies. They had already been dealing with an injury in training camp this year with Jaren Jackson Jr. going down with a hamstring injury. Now you have Ja Morant, who missed a lot of time last season. Already now looks like he's injured, looks like a twisted ankle off the dunk, from what I understand and I'm reading about. And so not a good start for the Memphis Grizzlies, especially for a team that is just a couple years removed from being one of the top teams in the Western Conference. You never want to see that in the preseason. You always want to see your younger players obviously get some playing time. You want to be able to figure out how they're going to fit in on the rotation. And then with your experienced veterans in the NBA, you want them to go out there and obviously get a feel for the game again as they continue to get into shape for the season. But you do not want to see them injured. So a tough break, I think, early for the Memphis Grizzlies. Next up, the Pelicans. And so Zion Williams, he has come in saying that he is in some much better shape, looks pretty good, 16-8 in preseason game number one. You know, the big thing for Zion Williams is just going to be, can he remain healthy? All right. And so you're hoping that this new investment into just getting in shape for Zion Williams is going to lead to him playing more games. I think that that is going to be key for the Pelicans, especially if they are going to have a breakthrough in the Western Conference. I think that they do have this roster that is set in place that can make some noise, even though they are probably still going to need to figure out what they want to do from a center position. And they have to figure out what they want to do with Brandon Ingram, who is going into the final year of his contract. And there is a lot of trade speculations there. And so, but it's a good start that you have Zion Williams, your franchise player, into some good shape and looking pretty good early. Next up, as we shift focus to the games that took place last night, I want to start with the Chicago Bulls, a team that I cover. And I think that the Chicago Bulls really got a chance to see exactly how good Modest Buzelis is. I mean, we've seen it in the summer league. We see it and we hear about it in practice, but you get a chance to see just how good he is in a preseason game. Now, Modest Buzelis looked terrific on the defensive end, went out there, stuffed the stat sheet. And I love the fact that he came in with the defense first mentality. I think that that is what the Chicago Bulls are really going to need out there. They need to figure out, you know, who is going to be their best defender on the team. And I think that Modest Buzelis has a chance to be the best defender along with Ayo Dosunmu. And again, man, he looked very good. 12 points in his debut, 5 rebounds. He had 3 assists, and you love the fact that 4 of those were on the defensive end. And I love the fact that he was able to get to the free throw line. These are things that I talked about, just covering the Chicago Bulls, that he's trying to figure out his offensive game. But the one thing that he has shown in the summer league is his ability to get to the free throw line. And I've always said that if you can get to the free throw line and you can get points there, you can figure out the rest of your game. And so a big bright spot, I think, for the Chicago Bulls, having Modest Buzelis. Ayo Dosunmu looks like he's picked up where he left off. Kobe White looked very good as well. Looks like he's ready to take that next step as a franchise player, scoring 21 points there. Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams are back from injury, so that's a good sign for the Chicago Bulls. But they've still got to figure out what is the direction for this team. So I think that that is the major storyline coming out of this particular game. Next up, the Atlanta Hawks and the Pacers. And so, look, Trae Young looked very good, I think, coming back, being off injuries and things like that, and the trade speculations and everything else going on with him. But, Trae Young looks good. He looks like he's ready to lead the Atlanta Hawks. And I think more importantly, I think maybe the Hawks got it right with the first pick in the NBA draft this last year, because I think that Zachary Rizichet has looked very good in his debut. I mean, he went out there, And he showed us the total package. I mean, he showed us that he could shoot the three ball. He showed us that he could handle the ball. He showed us that he could get into the passing lane and defend. I certainly think that this is a player that is going to be an impactful player in the NBA immediately. And I know it is preseason basketball, but still 7 of 9 from the field, 3 of 4 from downtown. He was plus 15 in the box score, 18 points, had the 2 assists. And I think that he's only going to get better. And I love the fact that he has gotten better from his summer league performances. And so that's what you want to see out of players. You want to see them continue to get better, especially when you're going against players that either are established in the NBA or they're trying to find their way in the NBA. And so this was a good sign, I think, for the Atlanta Hawks to look this good with their first overall pick. And then with the Pacers, not too concerned about the loss. I mean, I think that they're going to be able to pick up where they left off. Key addition for them is Jamie Wiseman. You wonder, will he now be able to kind of come in and be able to help them from a backup center position and really help this team kind of get over the hump, because they are going to need this type of center play in order to get past the Knicks or the Celtics. And so he could be a key addition for the Pacers this year. And so those are some of the storylines, coming out of Tuesday, along with I want to give a shout out to Khalil Ware of the Miami Heat. 13 points, 4 blocks, player that I got a chance to look at going into the draft. Definitely would love to see the Chicago Bulls get him, but I think he is going to help the Miami Heat as far as getting more of an interior presence. And I think Jimmy Butler, Jaime Jaquez, like they're building something very nice from a young core standpoint. So kudos to the Miami Heat. And then LaMelo Ball, he's back, 24.6 rebounds. I know it's preseason basketball, but that's always a great sign there. And so as we move forward for today's games, as we look at this thing, I'm looking forward to seeing the Knicks. Hopefully we see a little bit more of Karl Anthony Towns and that big trade. Want to see how he's going to fit in with Coach Thibodeau and the Knicks. Another team that I'm looking forward to seeing is the OKC Thunder. I just got a chance to look at NBA TV. It looks like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander might be one of the favorites to win the MVP, and I think that they're right on. They didn't mention Anthony Edwards, which they should have, but yes, I think that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander absolutely is going to be into that MVP running this year, and OKC looks really good. Can they now get over the hump with the additions that they had in the offseason? And so with that being said, we're going to shift focus now, and we are going to look at the NFL coming up here on Thursday night. And it is the 49ers and the Seahawks. And so with the 49ers and the Seahawks, the San Francisco 49ers come in really struggling in this particular game. 2-3. If you would have told me that they were going to be 2-3, you told me that the Jets were going to struggle with the way that they did, would not believe you. But, I really think that a lot of the training camp stuff and then the drama around that has kind of slowed down the San Francisco 49ers. And then also, too, you're starting to wonder about Brock Purdy. And I've said this before, like I think that Brock Purdy is a good quarterback, but at some point in time, he has to be more than just a game manager, and he's going to have to make some plays. I think that was really the difference between winning the Super Bowl last year and also winning the Super Bowl for the 49ers in the past. As of late, you need to have a quarterback that they just have to make some plays that where the offense is they're off schedule and it's unscripted, and you just make plays out of nowhere. And that's kind of what Patrick Mahomes is able to do. It's that scramble. It's just staying alive against the blitz. It's looking downfield. It's getting that long pass. And you need Brock Purdy to take that step for the 49ers to take that step. And so the Seattle Seahawks have looked very tough. I think that Geno Smith has looked very steady for the most part. But more importantly, DK Metcalf has played very well. 28 receptions, 421 yards already, and 2 touchdowns. But I think that they've done a terrific job just running the football. I think that that's really been the key, I think, for Seattle and what they've been doing in 3-2. And they've been in some tough games. And so I think that, that is going to be the key for them, is they've got to continue to run the ball with Kenneth Walker, the third, 37 carries, 202 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he's missed some games. All right. And so Seattle has found a way there, and defensively, they've looked pretty good. And I think that this game is going to be a game that really is going to be a tight contest. I think that Man, I want to say that I feel like the Seahawks can pull this one out at home. I mean, I think that they could possibly send the 49ers to 2-4. And I think that this is going to be a tight game. I think this is a 20-17 game. I think that you're going to see a lot of good defense out here. I think that you're going to see both teams really try to establish the run. And I think it's going to come down to which team can really get the run going and can sustain it, and then also to just limit or eliminate big plays down the field. And so I think it's the Seahawks initially. Let me know what your thoughts are. This is Real Talk Sports with Rico. You can catch us on YouTube and Spotify. I'll be back for a Friday show where we will be talking a little bit more NFL as we get ready to go into Sunday's games. And then also, too, we'll be reflecting a bit more on the NBA as it continues to pick up, as we are now in preseason and we are getting ready for the NBA season to start. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.